Alright guys, so in this week's video I have picked a different lake in southeastern Wisconsin to go fish, and a lake that does not get a lot of fishing pressure at all. And I know there's a lot of nice walleyes, smallies, muskies and all that stuff in here, but we're going to go out today and I'm going to try to show you my 4 or 5 favorite baits that I use midsummer right now for catching walleyes. And the first one is, you've seen a lot of my videos, it's just a jig. I got the Kalen's Google Eye jig. It's an 1/8 ounce or 1/4 ounce. I use that with a half of a night crawler. Cast that out, let it sink, and then I just reel real slow and I shake the rod tip like that. That's on the new Trika 10X spinning rod. Now the Trika rods are my favorite rods, guys. They have the best warranty. They're the lightest, most sensitive. They got new rods coming out. Check them out. They're in my home state in Wisconsin, in the link in the description below. But I promise you, these are the strongest, lightest rods that you'll ever have with the best warranty. And that's paired up on a Piscifun Carbon X 2000. Got 10-pound braid. I've got 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. I love the Piscifun reels just because you're getting a really good reel for the value. These reels are like 70 some bucks. Use my code EH18. You can save 18%. They have a super smooth drag, 10-ball bearing. So I love the Alumex. I love the Carbon X. I've got the Alloy M. I've got a lot of different Piscifun reels, but the 4 or 5 different baits that are going to work really good today. One's probably going to be a jig and a crawler. I'm going to throw the spinner. A spinner is just a 2-hook spinner, 12-pound fluorocarbon leader, a tungsten bass weight right there, and that's like on a steelhead rod, a longer rod. So I'll try that out. I'm also going to try, you also want to try drop shot fishing in the summer. Whether you're using a plastic worm or a leech or a half of a crawler, a drop shot is going to catch you a lot of fish. And probably one of the most underutilized baits, and that is definitely a jigging spoon. I use our 3/8 ounce hot spoon the most. That's on 10-pound test fluorocarbon leader. And again, just a medium light rod, and I'm just snapping it, snapping it, snapping it, snapping it. Last but not least, guys, I like to have all these rods up front, because if they don't eat the jig, or if they're not aggressive and eating, let's say, a jigging wrap or a shiver minnow or a jigging spoon, then I'll try jigging a crawler, I'll try the spinner, I'll try the drop shot. If they are very aggressive or I see big fish, I'm not sure if they're pike or muskies or walleyes out deep, I like to throw the knee shine jig head with a 4-inch or 5-inch paddle tail. And that's on 14-pound straight fluorocarbon on the Alloy M and the Piscifun Alloy M and the Trika bait caster. So that's my go-to. These are the rods I'm going to be using today, fishing these lakes that get very little fishing pressure. So you want any more information, go in the link in the description below. I'm ready to start fishing. Here we go. Pike. We got a pike. Saw just the way he came up and ate it. Never know, it could be a little musky, but I'm guessing pike. Everything eats a jig and a half a crawler. It's probably the, you know, we talk about percentage, you know, hookup percentage baits, like the jig and the single hook definitely seems to catch you more fish. Now this one may break me off just because it's a pike, you know, and they have sharp teeth, but you know, when you talk about a glide bait like a shiver minnow or a jigging wrap, the 2 best glide baits you can use, you do lose a lot of fish on glide baits. Now they do create a reaction strike along with a jigging spoon, but just like a jigging spoon, you lose more fish, and you come with that single hook, you're gonna catch more. So got a little lucky here. Got him right in the corner of the mouth, right where a walleye fisherman likes to catch a pike. But man, if a guy wanted to eat some pike, come here, where you at? Oh, there he is, right there. All right, I'm gonna unhook him, let him go, and get back to walleye fishing. Let's look at this. Nice little. What's gonna happen? Every time it seems like I'm holding up a fish lately for the camera, they decide to go nuts. And that's on that Google Eye, Keelan's Google Eye jig. Great jig. Anytime you get a pike though, you usually just want to retie. Definitely check, but yeah, see how you kind of frayed it and retie. Finally. Man, that took a little while. And I got a funny feeling this is not a walleye. I don't know what I got. It is not fighting like a walleye. So I don't know what I got. It could be a walleye, I don't know. Sucker. Could be a sucker. Could be a drum. Could be a pike. I don't think it's a bass or where to come up. Might be a walleye. It's starting to fight more like a walleye. Oh yeah. We got a nice walleye. Walleye sandwich and a walleye stew. I like walleyes. How about you? And there we go. First fish of the day. Man, I missed 3 in a row here. I was like, I had them on, a couple of good bites, fish following the bait, eating the, whoa, stay still, buddy. Eating the jig and the crawler, the half of a crawler, the Google Eye jig, and there you go, a 19-inch delicious walleye. Nice fish. Just like that, we are on again. Wow. I got my leeches here, but most of my leeches have died. So I haven't had a chance to fish a drop shot in the leech, which is such a good way to catch them this time of the year, but jigging a crawler, if it works, one of my favorite ways to catch them. Such a fun way to catch walleyes. Easy, you know, I'm always trying to teach you guys the easiest techniques. Now, don't get me wrong, you can catch them on a paddle tail, you can catch them on a straight tail plastic in the summer, but definitely a little more trickier to catch the fish on when you get on artificials like a glide bait, a plastic, a jigging spoon. But when they're chewing, that's when the artificials really shine. It's a nice fish. Fish is a little bit bigger than I thought it was gonna be. And I am just getting out here. I got the whole lake to myself. That's what's great about southeastern Wisconsin. There's quite a few lakes that don't get the fishing pressure like Lake Geneva, Lake Delavan, that myself and Cal guide on up here for this really nice walleye. Look at this beautiful walleye. Wow, that is the way you start the day, by cracking on a couple. Look at that beautiful walleye. Walleye number 2. Nice fish. Reel that spinner in nice and slow, and you're just waiting to feel weight, and then you set the hook just like that. Tighten up the drag. And there you go, that double hook. Usually, I didn't get the best hook set on them, but usually that double hook keeps them stiff. You can stick them. I mean, so just like that, coming out here, first spot I'm checking, 20 minutes, and get a limit of fish, just like that. So, some great lakes to fish in southern Wisconsin. Well, don't have my limit yet, but if I were to have kept them all, I'd have my limit. And these fish are not super deep. I'll show you again. where they're sitting. They're just right on the weed edge. These are great eating fish. Love catching these summer walleyes like this. Gonna try to get them back right away. That's probably another 18 and a half, 19 incher. But another nice one. Probably 18 inches, but just casting that spinner out and reeling it in real slow. And the key is, you know, when these fish are on these edges and they're not super aggressive, that's when the finesse baits work. Whether you're gonna drop shot, slip bobber fish, fish a jig and a crawler, slow death rig, things of that nature. Casting this spinner, you know, I try to show you a lot of techniques that not a lot of guys are using. Not a lot of guys cast a spinner with the 2 hooks for walleyes. Not a lot of guys use jigging spoons. So just trying to teach you guys there are other ways to catch them, and sometimes it works better than any other way that you're used to fishing. All right, guys, another really good technique in the summer. There's a leech and a drop shot, about an 18-inch leader. Just gonna cast it out and kind of hold it and shake it in the fish, and it works. You know, the jigging spoon, the half a crawler, the spinner. Want to show you how this works too. You're on the drop shot. Oh, what we got? It's fighting like a pike again. Would love to be wrong though. I'd love for this to be a really... Oh, I'm wrong. It's a really nice walleye. Oh, and there's a muskie chasing it up. A big muskie just chased it up. Boy, that one just thumped that leech. You know, I want to talk to you about the... Remember, I want to talk to you about 3 or 4 different ways to catch them. It's kind of cool that you can come out here, you can get on these fish, and if you can't catch them one way, you just try a different technique. If you can't catch them with a jig and a leech, you try a jig and a crawler. If you can't catch them on a slip bobber, you maybe go to a glide bait like a jig and wrap or a jig and spoon. There's so many different ways to catch them. This guy is hooked so good. I need pliers. There you go. Another beautiful southern Wisconsin walleye. 20 incher. Been a fun beat down so far today. Probably keep 1 or 2 later on, but it's been fun. On the jigging spoon, just right over the side of the boat. Mark the fish out here, out a little deeper. So I said, you know what, right underneath the boat, 35 feet of water. So that's what's great about the jigging spoon is you have it gets to the fish really fast, whereas that 1/8 ounce jig gets there a lot slower. Another nice walleye. These lakes are loaded full of them. Some of these lakes are just loaded full of these beautiful walleyes, just like this, guys. Look at this. This is such an awesome bite in the summer. Come out here and catch these beautiful. Look at the way he crunched that jig. Oh, jigging spoons right in the net. That's one of my go-tos right there. Show you this jigging spoon here. This is the 3/8 ounce hot spoon right there. Chartreuse and white with the UV tape. Another beautiful walleye. We got a walleye on. You know, same deal, guys. I'm just out in 25 feet of water and I saw one fish down there, and that's what's great about the jigging spoon is it just drops right down to him right away. Just allows you to get right on the fish. Even while you get a telemarketer calling. Another nice walleye. Man, so many nice ones just like this. All eagles. They're all beautiful fish. All these 20, 21, 22 inch on the jigging spoon, on the spinner. I mean, hasn't really seemed to matter. It's just about picking the lakes that don't get a lot of fishing pressure. Fish, you know, like down in, I fish Lake Geneva a lot, and that is, let's see, that's a 20 incher. I fish Lake Geneva a lot, and you know, a lot of those fish in Lake Geneva just get so much fishing pressure, they can be really difficult to catch. Pick some of these other lakes that don't have all the fishing pressure, and I apologize for the wind, guys, but man, the fishing is just a lot easier. Man, this one just smashed. I just put a paddle tail on, dropped it down, saw one fish swimming, and oh, it's a big walleye. It's a giant walleye. It's a freaking giant walleye. Oh my God, this is why you guys fish a paddle tail. Look at this fish. Oh my God. Oh my God. Just a big single giant walleye. That's like a freaking 28 incher. Oh my God, for an inland lake. Look at this toad. Oh my God. Oh my, oh shoot. No. Come here. Got him. We got him. Oh my God. Guys, this happens to me every single year. I always, and this is why I tell you, I have a variety of baits tied on. I got the Alloy M Piscifun bait caster here in the Trika bait casting rod and reel setup, and I've got 14, one with 14-pound fluorocarbon, one with 16. And all I'm doing is throwing a big 4-inch swim bait, 4-inch or 5-inch swim baits. And I'm throwing that on the Nishimi jig head here. That's Nishimi jig head. Look at that giant stud. Oh my God, guys, that is a giant freaking stud. Holy crap. I'm gonna get a quick pick and get this one back. All right, guys, well, I only got 2 quick pictures of this big walleye. 28 inches, probably about an 8-pounder, my biggest one of the year for an inland lake, and I'm just gonna take my time letting this big old fish go like this. Definitely don't want to, me personally, I don't want to kill, you know, a giant fish like this. We'll see. I'm gonna kind of get her head out first, and then we'll hold her with the net and see if she swims away here. Sometimes these fish, you just got to kind of hold them in the water for a little bit. It's hot out, summertime, just gotta hold them. And that fish is ready to go. There she goes. Oh my God, you guys, did you see that walleye? That was a magnum, man. So I just want to go over like the half a dozen baits that just worked for me all summer. Jigging spoon. If you haven't tried it, go in the link description below. We're a small company made in the USA. Check out our jigging spoon, guys. Really appreciate it. We really appreciate the support. That little help and just trying out our new products, you're going to be shocked. I mean, it will save you a lot of money. You're going to catch a lot of fish on jigging spoons. A half a jig and a crawler, throwing a spinner, throwing a drop shot, you know, all these different types of bait, the big paddle tail. I always have all these different baits in the front of my boat because they all work at certain times for certain applications and certain fish. A lot of times I see a big fish, I think it's a pike or a muskie, I throw a big paddle tail. Half the time it ends up being a pike or a muskie or a big walleye. So it's really cool. So I had a lot of fun out here. The wife just called me, said time to get home. I kept a couple walleyes, gonna cook up some dinner, but thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Don't forget to leave me a comment because we're giving away some jigging spoons. All you gotta do is go in the comments, look at the comments. If you win, I will come back in the comments and I will leave you a comment that you win and leave me your contact information. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. And once again, the meat down, beat down, smack down, crack down. See you guys.